16 episodes into 90 Day the Other Way, and we're imploding. Dylan and Patia can't figure out which way to move forward as far as a life commitment. Greta figured out her life commitment with Matthew is to not have one. Chloe and Johnny are trying to figure out if their relationship can survive the time it takes to get a work visa, or if the easiest way is to just get married.
That's always the easiest route.
And Luke and Madeline, well, we ended last week with Madeline throwing a pregnancy test at Luke. Not one that she's peed on yet. We're going to pee on it in this episode. But our tarot cards predicted it would be negative, and we're going to find out the results. With all this chaos, I managed to find the silver lining in this episode.
What's that?
Jerry the kangaroo was tossed into Dylan and Patia's arms, which means Dylan hasn't made him into kangaroo patties yet. 90 Day, The Other Way. Season 7, Episode 16, Crikey. Let's watch.
Remote reality, yeah, that's the key. Unlocking stories wild and free. With the host, side by side. Channel surfers, let's ride.
Welcome back to Remote Reality Channel Surfers. And if you're new here and you're channel surfing with us today, I'm Lauren, your attorney friend who overanalyzes everything. Even my favorite reality TV shows, which I kind of look at like a true crime documentary. I'm looking for the clues. Where are the editors trying to lead us? I've got questions.
And I'm Dee, her paralegal sidekick and elf today.
Yeah, instead of elf yourself, Dee is like F yourself.
Yes, it's one of those days.
I knew I had some moose ears and Santa hats, so I go in my garage, and my husband, way out of my reach, has all of these gigantic Christmas boxes. So I get a ladder out, and I bravely pull one down on top of myself. And I didn't find any hats, but I did find this creepy little bear from the 80s on roller skates, which a few years ago I popped some batteries into, and he works. Very robotic. I think it might be an alien.
Creepy. He's kind of cute. He's not creepy.
Well, I'm pretty sure he's like Chucky, which is why he was in the garage. Anyway, I have always wondered what it's like in Australia for Christmas. It just blows my mind. We don't really have the coldest of weather. It's 63 here today. But all of the other summer things, I'm not going out to the beach right now. But in Australia, does Santa take his sleigh through sand? Do they make sandmen?
Do they decorate palm trees?
We do. And they look like penises. You have to
Yeah,
be
it's
real
not really a
careful
good
about-
idea.
If you've never done this, Google Christmas lights palm tree. I see them everywhere. This place called Park Circle, when you're driving in, the streets are lined with palm trees, but they're smart. So the little tip that kind of bubbles up, like comes to a head, they have that in orange. The rest of the trunk is green. So it looks like a green candle.
And not a straight line penises.
And not a street of penises. Although you can always imagine. So, Dylan and Patia, if you are listening, let us know. What is it like? Take some pictures of what you guys do in Australia. Can you imagine Christmas in the summer?
No.
It's always fascinated me. I don't know. Anyway, Dylan and Patia. Dylan is going to a jewelry store. He's not taking Patia with him. She might spend a lot of money. She might pawn that ring. We don't know. No, actually, he is taking a ring in to have polished off. Now, this is a ring that he gave to Patia actually on Christmas 10 years ago in bed. He just slid it on her finger and she said yes. I got proposed to in bed.
I think I was proposed to in bed.
That was my engagement that didn't work out. And he didn't have a ring. We ended up flying to the Bahamas to look for rings. What does that say about us? Yeah. No, Rob proposed to me at the Battery after taking me out for Mexican. He knows my love language. He said it wasn't special. So you can tell he's thinking about, if I redo this, how do I make it more memorable? Now, he's there with his friend Chris, and Chris says, shouldn't you trade this in and get a new ring? What are your thoughts on that, Dee?
I definitely would expect a new one. I would think it had bad mojo. I wouldn't take any chances.
I don't disagree.
Yeah, I'm a
He
superstitious
said that there's a lot of
so.
memories and sentiment in there, but he also said that after they were engaged, they were breaking up every 3 to 4 weeks. And then she was spending so much that Dylan took the ring back. And he said that at that point, she thought that meant they weren't engaged anymore. I'm not sure at what point they actually weren't engaged anymore. Did he just like, okay, well, you assume that, so we'll go with that?
I think he pretty much just kind of like confirmed it when she felt that way. He took it because she was pawning off all of her other jewelry and he was afraid that she was going to pawn off that.
Right. But if that was what was going on and she just somehow misunderstood that he was taking it so she didn't pawn it,
Mm-hmm.
don't you think he would try to clear it up with his fiance? But then how do you do that? Like, I can't trust
I
you
would
with your
think that
ring.
yeah, I would think that you would, but I can't remember exactly what it was he said, but the impression was he was okay with letting her believe that.
I
He
wonder if
wasn't going
she
to correct it.
knows that he still has it.
I don't know. That could
What
be
about
interesting.
that? If she doesn't realize he's hung on to it for all these years, does that change her position, new ring or not? Might be kind of romantic that he's
Mm,
still there.
I think it could go either way, honestly. She could be like, "You didn't even get me a new one. This is the one from 10 years ago."
Also,
And
if
she
she
might
knows he has it, she might feel like it's being held over her head.
yeah. If she's suspicious like me, then superstitious, sorry. Um, she might think it's bad mojo too because
Well,
of the way the outcome was of it.
financially, the resale value of rings
Mhm.
is much lower than the retail value because of that bad mojo. Do you remember we have to like value rings for our bankruptcy
Right.
cases? And there used to be this website, My Ex-Boyfriend's Jewelry, where
Mhm.
people would post their rings and like you'd get all the drama with it. Oh, I loved reading those. It was so fun.
I wonder if he could just do something as far as like resetting it. Like keep
Cool.
the diamonds. It would look
Right.
different, but it would be the same diamonds and stuff.
It was pretty. I
Mhm.
like that idea. Good thinking, Dee.
You're welcome. I'm good for something.
That's why you got proposed to in bed. So Chris points out to the shop salesman who's cleaning the ring that, oh yeah, my friend Dylan right here, he's actually given his partner this ring before.
Mhm.
And he's not just here cleaning it for her. He took it back. And Dylan's like, yeah, things were rough. And Chris says, well, you proposed to her 10 years ago. So what are we waiting on?
Mhm.
It's been 12 years. How much longer until you think things get fixed? Which, valid point.
I don't nothing's getting fixed after 12 years, that's for sure.
You're with who you're with at that point.
And you are who you are. I mean,
Right.
it doesn't really change. There's not a lot of growth that you're still going to continue to see that you haven't seen in the last 12 years.
Exactly.
Mhm.
One thing that really worries Dylan was the Thailand experience because he took her
Mm.
there to retire and he thought she would love living that retired beach lifestyle, but she got bored and he wasn't able to keep supporting her luxury spending. But now he thinks, quote unquote, she's approaching an age and she can't live a fast paced life forever. So is he just waiting until her body gives out? Like, what's happening?
I think he might be patiently waiting for her to come to the realization that she can't continue to live that kind of a lifestyle. I don't know.
Why
I don't know if he's referring to the fast pace because, yeah, don't sit down. Once you sit down, you start falling asleep in the chair kind of thing. But I'm thinking he's thinking more the pole, like working on the pole, that she can't do that forever. And that's what supports this luxury spending and shopping addiction that she seems to have.
Well, we also get into that because he's not totally on board with her dancing career. But like Captain and Tennille said, love will keep us together. Dylan, he only loves Patia. He only finds her attractive. Like his heart is just like calling Patia. I think
That's
her
so
heart is
sweet.
calling Dylan.
Is that before or after shopping?
Well, her heart is calling Dylan, and it's
Mm.
also calling Dillard's. It can be confusing, D. Not easy.
She's probably more Dolce and Gabbana, not Dillard's.
True.
Mm-hmm.
Good point. Touche. And Chris, He says that Dylan is just really stubborn. He won't even eat a cookie. He eats his chicken and rice. I mean, he was drinking a beer the other day.
Yeah, I was surprised to see him drinking the beer.
So he
I think
thinks he's just stubborn, and that's why he's not letting go.
No, I don't think he's stubborn. I think he's just in love, and he
Well,
wants it. He wants it to work.
and while Chris makes a good point, things aren't going to change when you get married. You marry who you
Mm-mm.
marry. If anything, they get harder because now you're stuck together. You can't just break up
Mhm.
every 3 to 4 weeks. Chris says that Dylan and Patia haven't thought about the long-term plan, which, Chris, Dylan and Patia are living the long-term plan. They have been together on and off for 12 years. What do you mean haven't thought about it? They are like in the moment living it
They have been living it.
for
They're
12
basically married
years.
except for not having it on paper.
Well, and they could break up and
Mhm.
not have divorce or division of asset. That could be big,
Mhm.
especially if Dylan runs up a lot of, well, sorry, Patia runs up a lot of debt while they're
Mhm.
married. It just depends on the laws. Like marital property, sometimes in some jurisdictions, if it's not used for the marriage, if it's used solely for yourself, then it could be argued that it's not marital
Mm.
because it wasn't for the marriage. But that's going to vary jurisdiction to jurisdiction. Anyway, next place we had is the club. You ready to go to the club?
Go to the curb.
Let's go to the club. And Patia and Dylan, they go in, they sit down. Patia hands Dylan a stack of cash. When they're watching this, I just wonder, like, seeing it through their eyes, they appreciate the craft. Like, this is
Mhm.
their
Art.
craft. This is their art. They admire, like, the different moves. And I wonder if it's like servers. You're going to tip extra well because you know what it's like.
I would say that's a fair assumption. Yeah.
Like, even though Dylan is cheap, is Patia handing him money because she's like, you better tip her? Or is she like, would he be on board with great tips anyway? I think he'd be on board with great tips anyway.
I do too.
But it could be like, Dylan, spend some money here. This isn't the place to be cheap.
Yeah. I don't think he's cheap. I think he's
He's not. He's financially smart.
responsible.
I'm very much like that.
Mhm.
My husband is not. So I get it.
Mhm.
And the first move we see is this dancer. She is hanging on this pole upside down by her legs. Do you think my cellulite would help me like grip the pole?
It's a possibility. I hadn't thought about that.
I might still need a helmet though, because I'd probably fall on my head
Yeah, I don't think you would get it corrected in time to come down and flip
and
over.
break something. Patia is just in her element here though. You can tell she's comfortable. She's worked at these places for 37 years. She's with her people. She's like, these are my people.
She's loving it. She's lit up.
Dylan says
think-
this is the happiest he's seen her since she's been in Tasmania.
Yeah. That doesn't say a lot for what's going on outside the club.
Well, not much because she says that it's like one of the only things open past 10 p.m., which reminds me so much of when I lived in Charlotte, right outside of Charlotte, North Carolina. I remember one night my friends and I, we all went to some like young professional meetup uptown. And afterwards, me and my 2 girlfriends, we decided to go find some food. It was after 10. Nothing was open uptown, like the main city center in Charlotte. Now, albeit this was over a decade ago, but yeah, when she said past 10, I was thinking, girl, do not go visit Charlotte. Come visit Charleston. Charleston is great. I'm biased.
It is.
Also, Travel and Leisure for like 12 years in a row until this year had named it #1 in the world to travel to. We have an Airbnb here. I'll post the link on Facebook. My husband runs it. It's my mother-in-law decorated. She's a very good decorator. Things are open late. There's the beach scene. There's the like historic scene. There's so
haunted
much to
tours
do.
at night too.
I've been on them. I've been on the haunted
Yeah.
tour. I've done the pirate tours. I've done the touristy things. There's great food. Oh my
You've got all
gosh.
those plantation homes you can visit. The gardens are amazing during, I think it's like May and June.
We just
when the-
went to Aquarium Aglow, which was pretty cool. But they also have like right now the James Island County Park with all the lights. There's so many different parks. Even like water parks. It's a lot of fun.
I think there's
So many
zip
different
lining down there
beaches.
somewhere too.
What's that?
I think there's zip lining somewhere too.
There is at the Charleston
Yeah.
County Parks. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Anyway, I digress. Things open past 10 o'clock. I went to a place where we've got things open past 10 because Shirley didn't have it. And I feel your pain, Patia. If I want something to eat at 10,
Mhm.
I want somebody who can make it so I don't have to microwave.
I kept waiting on his mama to call. Like I was
Good day,
waiting for
Mom.
I was waiting for the good day, Mom, while they're in the club.
While they're in the VIP champagne room.
Patia, for shit's sakes, Dylan.
Patia starts talking about how good it feels to perform. They're getting all these compliments. And, she's complimenting the dancers. There's just like an adrenaline rush. This is how I feel when the channel surfers comment on our YouTube stuff, even if they don't agree with us. It's an adrenaline rush. It's fun to talk to other people, look at their points of view.
We get very excited whenever either one of us notices followers or comments. We're texting the other one going, "Wait, there's a comment or there's a new follower."
And then someday I'll just save them up. Like if it's a rough day, I'll just save them so I can just get this like rush of adrenaline at the end of the day. I'm going to need that boost. Thank you, channel surfers. So Patia says she can go back to the US and within 6 months, she can pay off her debt. She can dance her way out of debt, which, I never thought about suggesting that to our debt clients. Should this be something new in my consultations? You could dance your way out of debt. Option 1.
They'd be twirling away the money, hanging upside down for 100.
But Dylan, he is glad that Patia's not dancing. And he says he knows it's hypocritical. Now, I don't know that I agree that it's hypocritical. It sounds like the problem he has is her being one-on-one in a VIP lounge or a champagne room, giving a private dance to a guy.
That's completely different than just being on a stage and dancing for people.
So I don't agree that it's the same, but also I don't think he has anything to worry about. Now, he did meet Patia in the club, so maybe that's where he's worried, but I'm sure that a lot of the people there are not going to be people she's interested in.
Right. I agree. Although at the same time, I'm wondering if this might be a storyline because I'm like, why didn't she just dance the debt off before she went to Australia?
Why doesn't she dance the debt off in Australia?
Yeah. Or
it feels like some TLC fraud.
Yeah, I don't see it. This is the same situation that got her into the debt in the first place. She sold everything off and went to Thailand, and then she went back and had to start over. So if she goes back to dance off the debt, she's basically got to start over again, which is going to get more debt for her. So I don't really know that that's the solution.
You are right. TLC is frauding us.
Yeah, it doesn't make any sense.
It doesn't make any sense.
I think they're just looking for things for this couple to have an issue with. I don't think they have any issues. They've been together for 12 years.
Issue? Let's see Dylan cook up Jerry.
No.
Then we're all going to have problems.
You shut your mouth, Lauren.
All right. So what could Patia do? Let's play a little game. If Patia's not a dancer, what job could Patia have? You go first.
Well, she definitely could teach pole dancing, not just the sensual side, but there's also pole dancing exercises like workouts and stuff. So I definitely could see her doing something like that and making a hell of a lot of money at it.
I would take that class.
I would take that class.
She could probably do it online. Well, we'd all have to get our own poles.
She could get an app. That way she could monetize it, do subscriptions or something like that.
Well, I was thinking she could do a cooking channel on YouTube. And then for some reason, I was like, what if she read children's books just because she has like this kind of soothing voice?
Yeah.
She's not loud and crazy like us.
No, but I bet she might surprise us. She might be able to do some really cool characters, voiceover type
She
stuff.
could teach the kids how to dance.
Yeah. Oh, shit, Lauren. I think she personal shopper, maybe.
That would be an amazing job. She loves shopping.
She does, but she might be like me with Christmas shopping. Every time I find something, oh, this would be good for me.
Well, she seems to have good taste. So she just needs to be a personal shopper for the ultra wealthy.
Yeah.
But she also misses dancing. And I couldn't imagine 37 years of doing something, having that adrenaline rush. It's got to be hard to give that.
Yeah. Yeah.
But then again, it could be like retiring. I don't know if I could ever retire as an attorney, though. I enjoy it.
And she looks amazing. Exotic dancers probably do have a window where they're going to be successful at it. And then at some point, they're not going to make as much as they did 30 years ago.
What about doing a couples strip with her and Dylan and
Oh,
marketing that to people that like voyeurism.
that would be awesome. That would be a good idea. Mhm.
But Dylan, he's like, "Why are you running off? She's doing it to pay off the debt." He's like, "No, find something else to do." She's worried. She knows on just his income, she's going to have to cut luxuries, which included online shopping.
Mhm.
That would be tough.
That would be hard.
So relying on Dylan for money scares her. But then Dylan, I guess, is reliving Thailand where he stopped giving her money and she left him.
Mm.
And he said sometimes he feels like he's not enough. Like, shouldn't just me be enough, even though I don't have pockets lined with money?
That's a valid point.
And then Dylan starts to not make so much sense to me when he says it's hard for him to commit if Patia can't commit to them being together. That's pretty circular. It's like Patia is trying to commit to being with you. She's gone over to Australia. She's sold everything she has.
Mhm.
She's telling you put a ring on it. So what's making him think she doesn't want to commit except for maybe that fear from Thailand? But this reminds me of like a small Greta situation
Mhm.
where Greta is afraid to get close to somebody. Patia says that Dylan was at some point afraid of commitment. Think about all the reasons that we're getting that he's not engaged to Patia. Not married, but not back to
Mhm.
being engaged to her. His mom, her debt, which we've talked about this, may not even be an issue. I'm a debt
Mhm.
attorney. I think if
Mhm.
they go talk to a debt attorney in Australia, I would want to know US creditors, what could they do to me here? Like, are they going to be able to come after me? Do
Mhm.
I have any assets that they can take? There's a lot of people that will move to other countries, like, for example, and try to escape student loan debt. They just become a citizen somewhere else. I don't know if you've
Mhm.
ever heard of that, like the expats on the student loan movement. Anyway, I'm not suggesting that. But also, I don't know that Dylan would be responsible for this debt. It's before marriage. It doesn't appear just from Google that Tasmania is a community property state. So literally there might not be any reason to pay it back. I would just go talk to somebody.
Mhm.
So her job, which is like the debt's the problem, but her job to pay it off is a problem. Her boredom, he's afraid that she's going to get bored. Again, that's that fear of her abandoning him.
Mhm.
Her not wanting to commit, which I guess is fear of abandonment talking. Her age, which is something he fabricated to his mom, that she might not settle down, which kind of reminds me of Johnny and Chloe. Johnny is like,
Mhm.
"Chloe, are you going to settle down?" Some women aren't meant to be bridled. They're meant to run free. I think that was a Carrie Bradshaw thing. I don't remember. It's been a long time. And then Dylan says at the end of this, I want to know that she's going to stick by me no matter what. Is he afraid of being abandoned?
That's a good possibility. I don't know. I just think after 12 years that kinks should have been worked out if there were kinks. That's the reason why I'm wondering if maybe this is just made up storyline, that it's not, that they really don't have any issues, that they're just trying to find something to make it look like there is.
Like maybe they really were engaged before she sold all of her stuff. But then again,
Mhm.
Patia, she likes to live a little on the edge, it seems, from the storyline. So
Mhm.
I'm just glad it wasn't worse. When she gave us that cliffhanger 2 weeks ago about she had to talk to Dylan, I was like, uh-oh,
Mhm.
mommy and daddy are fighting. This was mild. I was way more scared for what was coming.
Well, we
Speaking
knew
of
she
being
wasn't going to be
scared,
pregnant.
yeah, exactly. Speaking of being scared about what's coming, Luke and Madeline, my
Mhm.
girl Madeline, my daughter that I didn't know I had.
Whatever.
So we were 2 days before the wedding, and we left off last episode with Madeline throwing a pregnancy test at Luke. She is stressed out. You don't know how stressed, how scared and stressful I am. She looks scared.
Mhm. Yeah,
I
I
wonder
will
if
say that.
some of that is because her mom had her so young and her mom had a really hard life.
Well, yeah, there's that. It could be
They fight all the time.
they fight all the time. We haven't gotten to the altar, but we seen those rings on them.
I don't know if they're just wearing them beforehand or it could be production having them reenact
Right.
something that happened in their life. But if they're reenacting it, those tears are real.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, she's
Madeline
definitely
is upset. I felt so bad for her. She's 20. To me, that's so young. I know. You had kids at 21, but, like, I was 34, so
Madeline's probably an old soul, so you can kinda tell when you
yeah.
listen to young people. Chloe is a new soul, but Madeline is an old soul to me. She's much more mature and grown up in her.
Well, she did have to figure out her way around the streets at
Mhm.
12.
Yeah.
She was homeless and supporting herself. One of the reasons I've so much respect for where she is now at 20. But Luke, he says that he wants stability. And Madeline's like, well, you don't give me stability. She's just fighting. How are they going to raise kids with a guy who only thinks about himself? Like they're sitting there starting this business up, and all Luke cares about is money, money, money. And she's building a business. What if he decides to leave her for somebody younger? What protection does she have? That's what she's wondering. She thought that they were going to have this in both of their names because she's doing a lot of work for this business. She's putting in the sweat equity. And it's not until they show up at the thing on the weekend of their wedding where Luke's like, aha, fooled you. Now, I wonder if Luke has talked to an attorney about this. My attorney brain starts wandering. All right, what is this business right now? What is it worth? Probably not a lot. Luke is in debt up to his eyeballs. I would venture that the majority of this real estate is leaned up.
Mhm.
I don't know that there's much equity. If they sold this land and paid off what is attached to it as a lien,
Mhm.
what's going to be left over?
Right.
So he will continue to make payments on it, but presumably she gets the business off the ground with her work, and then the business becomes profitable, and the money from the business goes into the land, and that's what creates value in the land if they sell it. If he's put money into it, that could be a capital loan. Make that a loan to the business. The other thing, in some jurisdictions, the property that you get during marriage is marital property. And in a divorce, the family court can split it up. Now, there's also this idea called transmutation. It's where non marital property magically becomes marital property. Arguably, you might say that a business that didn't have value when the marriage started, that both parties relied on for income, both parties worked to make successful. You might have a partnership or a joint venture, but that equity built into the business after marriage might be marital property.
Mhm.
So even if his name is on it, if they're married, I wonder what protection Madeline might have to claim some of that property, especially in the absence of a prenup, which I don't see Madeline signing a prenup.
No.
So, yeah, that's where my attorney brain went with all of this. Does it really even matter that his name is on property that probably has very little value at this point if both of them are working to build this business and they're married? But Madeline's stressed out. She's like, this was our day. We went to this land and the man pulls out of nowhere that, but yeah, just kidding. We'll put both our names on one piece, but you're getting left off of this the weekend of their wedding.
Mhm.
I'm going to tell you the fight about the lemons, the lemons, the limes.
Mhm.
She mentioned that they, just had a fight and it was his fault. I don't think that was about lemons. I think he is poking the bear. He's sitting there pulling this shit, telling her what she wants to hear, and then doing something completely different. It's
Uh,
not about the lemons.
It maybe not, but I also don't think it takes much to poke that little bear because she gets mad about everything anyway.
But you've
She
seen it.
wants to
You've
fight.
seen those relationships where somebody just picks and picks and picks
I
and
know,
picks, and the person,
but
they don't have a tolerance for it anymore.
she wants to fight. Okay, so what? He does something that she doesn't like. Her reaction to it could be a different reaction. She could be upset, but have a different way of communicating it than the way that she does. She's just ridiculous.
But put yourself in her shoes. She was homeless at 12 years old. Her security, she is trying to build through developing this business. If things don't work out, if he leaves her for another woman, which I'm guessing maybe she's seen her mom go through stuff like that, she loses everything and finds herself back in a position where She doesn't have anything. She talked about that at the beginning when she was looking at buying that apartment. Like, she realizes the need to own things and have things for herself, to have her own investments. And she's investing all of this time into this business. The only successful business Luke has was her beauty shop. I don't know.
I understand what you're saying. I'm just saying that she can voice her displeasure in a much better way than she does because she wants to fight. She
I
wants to
think it's
argue.
a stress trigger. I think
That's a
it's
good
probably pretty
possibility.
traumatic to be 12 years old and figuring out life on the streets.
Yeah.
And the thought that this man does not even care to protect her from being back in that position is probably pretty triggering. Just my guess.
That's a
All right.
possibility.
So Luke keeps saying, let's take the test. You
Mhm.
gonna hold the pea stick for her, Luke? What do you mean we want to take this test? I think this is something that only one person needs to do.
Yeah. I don't know. People say we are pregnant when they're talking about having babies. So maybe that's where it's coming from is like a twist on the we need to take the test.
Go ahead, Luke, pee on it. I don't want to take it. That's what I'd say about Madeline. This is her first pregnancy test, and she did not expect to be doing this on camera. But
Mm-mm.
I don't think this is Luke's first pregnancy test.
No, I don't either.
He knows a lot about pregnancy tests. She comes out and she then tosses the pea stick at him. And he's looking at it. He's like, well, it's a line. Like, it's supposed to say pregnant or not pregnant or have a smiley face. What the heck is this kind? Luke, that is the worst kind. Those things are so hard to read. I wasn't sure when my husband and I tried for our son and we were like, is it? Isn't it? And we texted our parents and our parents were like, I see it or I don't see it. And it was during COVID and we couldn't find another test anywhere that wasn't online. Also, I wonder, has she missed her period?
Yeah, that's a good point because she never said anything, but she's taking some of the moodiness and the sickness, not feeling well, the throwing up, and she's putting that together as symptoms of being pregnant.
So she could be, maybe this is just early.
Some of them will detect it pretty early.
Pretty early, like 3 days before your missed period.
Yeah.
And your missed period is usually, I think, like several, not like the day. I don't know. I don't know how to do the pregnancy math.
Yeah.
We should ask Luke, seemingly an expert at this. Well, and what are the results of the test? Drum roll. Criteria was right.
Yay.
We called it. The first thing that Madeline says is, you're not crying? Because Luke had told her, look, it will mean that we're going to have a family. And that actually made her feel more secure that he did want to stay around. It really makes me wonder what was modeled to her growing up. But Madeline, she goes, look, we're on different pages here. I was actually terrified to be pregnant right now. And Luke, he said that they weren't in the place, but he was smiling the whole time.
I didn't see the smiling.
He's also 32 and in a very different place. He's got
Yeah.
his name on the property.
Yeah.
But it made Madeline realize she's not ready for a kid with Luke. And she doesn't trust him. And there's the reality check. How terrifying it would be to have a kid with somebody that you don't trust.
Look, this couple does not have any business getting married. And if they're already married, they've probably realized what a mistake it was already. There's nothing in from the beginning of seeing the two of them until now that says this couple should get married. They're a walking disaster with each other.
What did you think when he said, just let me do the man's job?
Okay. I thought he said, let me be the man. Maybe it was man's job. I don't know.
If you let me be the man and let me make manly decisions, let me do what I need to fucking do to make our dreams a reality.
I thought that was a little over the top. It wasn't necessary. I didn't understand exactly why he was saying it, but I thought her reaction was very interesting.
Well, first of all, his dreams are reality because remember, he saw this land in this area and decided to build a business on it before
Right.
he got with Madeline and proposed. He said it when she was bringing up the property.
True. About putting
It was
her
like a
name
way
on
to
it.
shut her up.
Yeah.
And I thought it was very mature of her to not react because I wanted to react and thank him for everything he's done for her.
Right.
What did
But
you
it's
see?
I
What
thought
was
that
in your crystal ball?
No, I just thought it was interesting because she has been so aggressive with him when she gets upset about stuff. And as soon as he shows any sign of being upset or raising his voice, she backs down. She actually backs down from him
Well, maybe she's dealing with that a lot more off camera.
because we don't really see him. Look, no matter how mad she's getting, how much she's yelling at him, we don't really see him raise his voice with her. I think we may have seen it once, one other time, and it was the same reaction with her that time too. She backs down as soon as he starts to get upset.
What I found mature here is at the beginning, she's saying, "You're the reason we fought." But then he expresses to her that he doesn't feel appreciated. And she realizes he needs that. She might think that this guy is obsessed with money and she doesn't like how he comes at her with it, but she gives him what he needs. Even though it might not be what exactly she's thinking, she realizes her partner needs to be appreciated for supporting her.
Well,
I
yeah,
thought that was really mature that she
she doesn't
did
do
that.
it very often. But I kind of thought that it was more of a just backing down from him because he was getting upset.
I thought it was this is really important to him. So
Mm-hmm.
maybe it's her hormones. Is she feeling empathy?
It's a good possibility. Maybe the test isn't right.
Speaking of tests, true or false? Is Johnny cheating on Chloe?
I just don't see it.
I think this is edit. I think this is edit.
Well, and the toxic friends.
The toxic friends. So Joey and Chloe, they start out on a beach at sunset. It's actually really pretty as
It's
the
beautiful.
sun's going down. There's like lit up bars and on the beach. Was Johnny just drinking a Diet Coke out of that glass?
I don't know what he was drinking, but
He
she
said
looked
he doesn't
amazing.
drink.
I thought she looked amazing in that sunset. I mean,
She did.
she's just so daggone adorable.
She is so cute. It looks like she had been swimming. She had that like beach hair,
Mhm.
don't care.
And the redness from spending or the pinkiness of being out in the sun for the day.
And she had a cute little outfit, little skirt. He slaps her on the butt. They were very playful and flirty
Mhm.
and adorable here. You can feel the chemistry. And Chloe tells them tomorrow's meatball night. So Chloe has two friends. Well, she has a few friends, but Maria, what is that other meatball's name?
Camilla.
Camilla, that's it. Like a lizard. She has these two meatball friends, which, did you ever watch Jersey Shore?
I had watched Jersey Shore,
Do you
but
know who Snooki is?
I do, and I did
She-
not realize that was a term from Jersey
yeah.
Shore.
Oh yeah,
I was
like
thinking
in
it was-
college, and my friends and I were obsessed.
I thought it was some kind of penis analogy or ball
We used to go
analogy.
gym, tan, laundry. I didn't tan, but we would definitely hit up the gym, and then I would do laundry. I just skip the tanning because I don't have any patience to lay in the sun. Anyway, she likens this group to the Jersey Shore cast.
to a meatball.
To the meatballs. So Johnny doesn't get it. He's like, "What do you? We're going for Italian food? Are you taking me to Olive Garden? Where we're here? Is that where we're going?
Meatballs for dinner?
When you're here, your family?" Chloe's like, "No, you're not a meatball.
And you're not
You don't
going.
get Yeah, we'll call you afterwards."
Mm-hmm.
Which honestly, if you don't drink, Johnny, you don't want to go to this. You would need something to anesthetize yourself from
Mm-hmm.
meatball night. Now, Johnny says she's been partying a lot since she got here, and he gives her an excuse. He's like, "You're still on vacation mode, but when am I going to start seeing what real Chloe is like? Like, when are you going to get off vacation mode? Maybe when she gets a job.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe never if mommy's just supporting her. Maybe she doesn't have to worry about it.
Mm-hmm.
And this is just living her life." And Chloe is like, "All right, cool. Like, look, I will be responsible. I'm not going to get crazy. I'm not going to go and dance on bars." In her mind, she feels like this is a test as to whether or not she's wife material. What did you think about that?
I think it's something completely different. I think he's trying to judge her maturity in getting married versus wife material. It's two different things.
Well, he didn't say wife. She said that.
Right. But I think she's misjudging what he's doing. He's not looking for wife material. He's just trying to see if she's even ready to actually get married.
And I don't know whether or not her going out, doing karaoke, climbing palm trees, drinking, I don't know that that's indicative of maturity.
No.
I'm in my 40s.
You still like to do that crazy stuff.
My friends have beer pong at their parties.
I love to do all of that kind of stuff. I
I would probably climb a tree if it looked climbable and I had a few drinks. Now, Chloe says this would all be safe. It definitely would not be safe if I was climbing a tree.
Right. Maybe it's not necessarily maturity that he's looking at, but maybe if they're at the same place in their life, at what they're looking for with getting married.
Well, that's what I'm thinking. This is not what he envisioned, which Chloe tells him very wisely. Look, I am who I am. You can't change me. You either have to accept who I am or this isn't right, which I agree.
Mm.
I like to, my friends and I, we go out and do karaoke.
Right.
We go out and, well, not as much anymore, but
Well,
like
that's
in
what
our late 30s, we are going out and drinking.
That's what I was getting ready to say. There's a difference in, like, it's okay to do all that stuff. I agree. I'm in my 50s. I still enjoy spending time with my girlfriends, drinking some wine, doing karaoke.
I've definitely gotten a drunk beach call from you before, which is fun.
Right.
You were like, look at the moon.
I'm just saying the frequency of it
Sure.
is a lot less than it was back in your 20s. It'd been like, that's what you do every weekend, where now it's like,
Right.
oh, it's a treat to get together with your friends, everybody at the same
once a
time.
month.
And yeah, everybody at the same time. We're all free. Let's go do this.
And I mean, alcoholism could always be a concern, but he doesn't drink, but he also can't afford her martini lifestyle, which he's told her. So I think there's a lot of factors at play here.
She's going to have to sacrifice a lot if she wants to get married and just live on his income or whatever her potential income would be starting a job over there.
Well, just start going and getting some duty-free alcohol and having the party at home.
Mm-hmm. Like us
Although
old
then he would be
people.
there, and if he's not drinking, that would probably be annoying. He drops her off for Meatball night. She goes in and she says that Johnny, even though he was friends with Maria at first, he doesn't like when she and Maria get together. I got lost in my notes for a minute. I found it. I thought this was just strange how it was said. Chloe says, if I mention something unrealistic about Johnny, then Maria reels me in and says, don't put up with it. So, and that makes Jonathan nervous. What if she means something unrealistic about Johnny? Like,
that makes no sense.
he
Maybe
needs
she
to
used the
quit his
wrong word.
job?
Yeah, maybe
I would be pissed if Maria supported her on that, and I'd be mad if I was Johnny.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I don't know that she used the wrong word. To me, it was almost her defending Johnny. It's okay for her to say he's like this bad guy and this cheater, which all seems like BS. But if somebody else says it, then she backs down.
Yeah. I was thinking something similar. Like, she makes excuses for Johnny, and Maria thinks that's unrealistic. So she reels her back in. Like, she's not going to defend him because that's just not the truth. And when I was listening to these two girls talk to her, I was like, that just seems a little bizarre.
Like, what part?
He cheats on her every week. They were
I
saying
think that was edited. That was at the very end. And they said everyone on the island knows that Johnny has a reputation with the girls. Okay, well, so he's got a reputation. What, he's a flirt? A year ago when he didn't even know Chloe, because remember, they haven't even been together a year.
Right.
So like a year ago, he was single and got around. So reputation hasn't left him yet. I mean, that could mean a lot of things.
This is his job. It's how he makes tips and things like that. Of course he's going to flirt with the girls.
But Camellia wants to twist that and say, oh, well, it feeds his ego, which I don't think there's anything wrong with. It probably does feed his ego. As long as he's not cheating, who cares?
Even if it does, yeah. But honestly, he doesn't appear to have the personality of someone seeking ego gratification kind of stuff. He just He doesn't seem like that in any of the interactions that we've seen on the show so far. He seems like a very
Level-headed,
yes, down to earth kind of guy. He's
not egotistical.
no.
I agree.
I think the girls are jealous.
Oh, that's an interesting take.
Maybe that Maria or whatever her name is, or the other one was actually interested in him because he said that he had hung out with her for a while and then he introduced her to Chloe. They were in the same circles. Maybe she hadn't been interested and he turned her down.
Maybe this wasn't the first time she
Mhm.
scared a girl off.
Yeah.
Interesting.
It was just very toxic the way that she was acting at that dinner. I love my friends, but I just felt she was crossing some lines big time. It was bullshit.
Well, the part that was spiced up, Maria, you don't see her saying this. You hear her voice, but she says they've been together probably a year. And then it sounds like there's a part where it's just not flowing.
Mhm.
Just the way the sentence goes, it sounds like they have did a little Franken-edit, cut a little here, snipped a little there, glued a little sentence together. So they've been together a year, slice. Johnny has probably cheated on her at least once. Well, probably cheated on her splice at least once a week. The
Yeah.
slice was between the probably cheated on her splice and then at least once a week.
Yeah.
I don't think she was, and that last part, that at least once a week, you guys listen to the edit. Look for the clues. It's like the game of Clue. What can we discover about TLC's editing and storyline? Well, they do want to make Johnny out to be a cheater. They have tried to make that storyline from the
Mhm.
beginning, and they
Mhm.
also want to make Chloe out to be a meatball. So
Mhm.
I think this is the edit. I don't think the friend was saying once a week. I think she says he probably cheated on her. Maybe he was talking about her position on when they weren't official and he brought another
Mhm.
girl somewhere. Maybe she's talking about reputation or something in the past.
Mhm. Well, yeah, I
All
mean,
these sentence pieces were not spread out in that line that we
right.
hear them.
And we only hear Chloe referring to that one time before they were actually a couple. She's never said anything about him cheating after they were actually a couple.
If her friends actually said that sentence, we wouldn't have left this episode the way we left it. They would have given us her reaction as a cliffhanger.
Mhm.
And what do you think Chloe's reaction would be if her friends said
Oh.
that her boyfriend's cheating on her once a week?
Yeah, for sure. Because this is the girl that has cameras in his house when she's in Massachusetts so that she can see every room he's in at all times. She's probably got trackers on his car, his phone, and everything else.
Well, and she did say that sometimes he will leave his phone at work and he's not actually at work. So, like, once he left his phone at work and she thinks her friends are covering for him, which, yeah, that doesn't look great. But also, she is tracking him 24/7.
Mhm.
1. 2, what if he went to lunch and forgot his phone in his locker?
How many of us have forgot our phone at work or at the house when we went somewhere and just went ahead and went like, oh, I'm only going to be gone for 15 or 20 minutes. It's no big deal.
I wonder if ALXCA can tell me how many times I ask her to call my phone because I lose mine all the time.
I can tell you how many emails I see in the email where you're looking for your phone. It's probably a dozen a day.
So, could it be nefarious? Yeah. Could it
Mm.
be he wants to surprise her with a gift? And if she's tracking his ass, he can't go to the florist and get the flowers. I mean, probably
Good.
not. My guess is he left it by accident.
Yeah,
He
probably
put it
just
in
went
his
to
pants
lunch.
pocket in his locker, and on their lunch break, they walked down the street to go have lunch
But honestly,
down the beach.
do you really want to be with someone that's going to track your
No,
ass like that anyway?
no.
I mean,
I mean, now that I'm married and I have a kid and we have a tracker, yeah, like, but I don't care because he's only
right.
looking at it if he's like, dang, it's been a while. Like, is she? That happened once. My husband got a flat tire on the side of the interstate, and I was able to just click his location and go straight to him and my
Mhm.
son. But that's like, I don't care where he is.
Right. But can you imagine from Chloe's position the sheer
Energy.
and stress that she puts herself through unnecessarily doing all of this? How sad that you feel like you need to do that. That would drive me bonkers.
Or they're playing up a storyline.
It's a possibility.
They're
But
playing up they got into an argument because they disagreed. She thought he cheated. he didn't think so because they really looked happy on the beach. And
They
he dropped her off
did.
at Meatball night. So I don't know.
Have we seen anything about them since the show's ended?
I haven't looked at anybody's stuff.
Yeah, I haven't either. Every once in a while, something will pop up, like that she's finally done something with her fucking hair.
Has she?
Yeah, it looks so much better. I actually seen a reel or TikTok that she did because apparently people had been talking about her
Yeah.
hair.
Well, I said the first day, I mean, she's used to Boston. If you're going to the South and it's humid, keratin treatments, which I just
Mhm.
had my keratin treatment yesterday. But
Yeah.
that frizz for at least like 3 months.
Yeah,
Um,
it looked like she toned down the color and did some treatments. It looked really good on her. She's so freaking cute anyway.
she is
And when you
so
fix that
pretty.
hair, she's gorgeous.
They'd make beautiful babies.
They would.
You know who won't? Greta and Matthew.
Oh God, no.
Greta, there's something up. It does not make sense that she was falling out of love with him and left her cat and came over to the UK. I think she is spiraling. Maybe it's because day one he was like, "You stink,"
Well,
and she's like, "Oh crap, he rejected me." But I don't know.
I think she kind of even referred to herself as spiraling, didn't she? Didn't
Yeah.
she say that? Yeah.
She said she slept on and off. She had trouble sleeping and she was spiraling after leaving him, and that taking off the ring made it real. But she thrives on that
Thrills.
excitement, that
Thrills.
thrill. And it's almost like it's a cat and mouse game. Now he's sending his dad over there, and his dad is like, "He loves you. He loves you." And she knows he's still on that hook.
Mm-hmm.
And the dad's like, "He will love you for a long time. It's only been 4 days. Are you sure you don't want more time to think about it? This doesn't make any sense.
It
Are you sure it's
doesn't.
not studying for the bar exam?" I mean, I think we've got one of two things here. They've been together 3 years, right?
Mm-hmm. 2 or
She
3.
just took the bar exam. Law school is 3 years, and then the bar is the summer after. So she would have started dating him like her first year of law school. The first year, you're just trying to figure out how to keep your head above water. They scare you to death. The second year, they bore you to death. I mean, work you to death. The third year, they bore you to death. But in the third year, you are probably doing clerkships, trying to figure out which way
Mm-hmm.
you want to go after graduation. So you're busy. She hasn't had to fully commit to this relationship with Matthew. So, under the theory I've had where she doesn't want to get too close to people because I mean, your mom is probably one of the closest relationships you have, and she lost her mom and she's afraid to be hurt and get close. Law school is kind of a great time to date somebody. And
Mm-hmm.
she's never had to fully invest because she had law school and then she had the bar exam. And then
Mm-hmm.
when she was done with the bar exam, then she had to fully invest.
Yeah, she doesn't
And
have any other distractions. It's just him now.
and that's too close.
Yeah, that makes sense.
The other thing, law school is an intensive program.
Mm-hmm.
It can be a journey of self-discovery. Maybe she's realized that she wants to be stimulated more intellectually now. Maybe in going through this journey through law school and the bar, she's realized that this life she had envisioned, getting married, having children, and she says this, she really doesn't want that anymore. She wants to devote herself to working for a nonprofit and helping animals. So it could just be she's undergone a radical change in an intensive study program. And now that she's out of it and able to
Mm-hmm.
see what she thought she wanted before she had really gotten into it right in front of her, she's realizing my needs have changed.
Well, I think while she was in law school and doing the bar and stuff like that, life was just so busy. And he
Yeah.
was in there a part of that busyness. And I think now that it's slowed down and he's the only thing to focus on, she's either realizing that she didn't have the feelings that she thought because she's actually giving him some attention where she had been distracted with all this other stuff going on in her life. She really didn't notice that she wasn't necessarily in love with him.
I mean, I have to say, I did have a relationship, super nice guy in law school, like toward
Mhm.
the end in the
Mhm.
bar. And I realized I wasn't intellectually stimulated. Not that he wasn't smart, but he just didn't talk a lot. And that was fine when I was in school.
Mhm.
and I had school that was overwhelmingly stimulating. It could be something like that. It could be that fear of rejection. The reasons, though, it feels like she's just throwing anything and seeing if it can stick.
Well,
Also, go
his
ahead.
dad said that too. He said she seems like she's trying to rationalize it in her head. Maybe she doesn't even really know. She just has this feeling and she's trying to figure out why she feels that way.
Well, when she's talking about it, the words she's using seem very emotionally detached. Even if you're the one that ends a relationship or an engagement, there's still a image of what you thought you would have that you don't anymore.
Well, not she also she's keeps referring to the past tense with the love part. I loved him. I thought I loved him. It's only been 4 fucking days. So, I mean, she's already able to use the past tense of
Or
something
she's
with
trying to
him.
convince herself that she really is
Right.
past it.
Right, because most of us, even if we're the one that chose to do the breaking up, we aren't in 4 days to the point of using loved in a past tense.
4 days after you left your cat and moved everything you had to the UK.
We might say something like, "I really thought I loved that person," or
She says, breaking a promise doesn't feel good. That's so emotionally detached.
Mhm. Yeah.
You would expect this hurts. It didn't work out how I hoped. I left him, but it doesn't make it easy for me to give up the dream. The other thing is that she's nervous about how Mark is going to perceive her. She doesn't know how he's going to feel about the breakup. And she said that's going to be hard because it will be, quote, emotional. The
Mhm.
emotions are what she is struggling with. She is afraid of rejection from Mark. She was accepted, welcomed into that family with open arms. And that's got to be hard for her if her fear is
Mhm.
rejection, if that's why she's pushing Matthew away. It sounds like something she might say. I'm afraid to meet up with his dad because
Well,
I don't know how he's going to react. He might reject me and it's going to be emotional, and emotions are hard.
that makes sense, especially with her attachment to her cat.
What do you mean?
Well, I wasn't being smartastic about it. I can't even talk today. Our animals always give us unconditional love. I mean, you're not gonna get rejection from a pet usually.
Oh.
So she puts all of this love into this animal because she trusts she's not gonna be rejected by her animal, her pet.
And she didn't keep the animal for too long, maybe so she doesn't get attacked.
Good point. It's a good possibility. But you see what I'm saying? There's no
Yeah.
fear of rejection when you have pets. They love
But there is fear of
unconditionally.
loss.
Yeah, they love unconditionally. They're your best friend. They're always there.
But it's not rejection with her mom, it's loss,
Right.
which I guess is pretty close tie. Also, she says she wants the conversation to end amicably. She hopes that with Mark. So again, she doesn't want him to reject her.
Mm-hmm.
She hopes it ends in a friendly way. She looks scared to me when she walks up to Mark.
She looked terrified. She had scared herself into tears. She was already crying by the time she got to him.
Why?
I don't know. Some people are completely non-confrontational. So if they have to get in any kind of situation where they think it might be confrontational, they just can't handle it.
To me, it's maybe to throw his guard down. Maybe it's being so
Soften.
afraid of how he's going to react and it
Or
will soften him.
That's what I was getting ready to say. Maybe soften him. I
And
don't
he's
know.
very sweet. He walks up and gives her a hug and
He is. I mean, he lets her know
well,
where
what he's
things.
thinking, what we're all thinking, which we haven't
Mhm.
been there that long. This is a real drastic change to just pull out of nowhere. Matthew really loves you. Like, he's in it. He is not leaving you. It's almost like Matthew and Mark understand Greta's fears
Mhm.
because he is reassuring her that Matthew's not letting go, which she's
Right.
going to sit with. And once she realized that she is losing the option to be with
Mhm.
Matthew, because right now dad's there and the door's open. But before
Right.
that, she was having a sleepless night. And
Mhm.
what else was she doing? Spiraling
Mhm. Right.
when she thought it was over. It doesn't make sense.
It
She,
doesn't.
so I think she's got some stuff to work on. We all have some stuff to work on. Maybe she's just not intellectually stimulated by him. Maybe,
I mean, that
I
could
don't
be
know.
it. But on the flip side of that, he had so many things in common with her, like the vegan stuff and things like that. I think it would kind of balance it out. The fact that she found a partner that felt the same passion about animals and food and things like that, it might balance out if she's not being intellectually stimulated. She could just be good and it really messes with your whole psyche. And she could be misinterpreting just being homesick with, I just don't love this person no more. I need to get back to the United States or something. I don't know.
After 4 days.
Yeah, after 4 days. I spent 3 days in Kansas and I was so homesick. I was like physically ill. The landscape just completely threw me.
But we're not talking about Kansas anymore, Toto.
I know. I know, but you know what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
It could be
like
a
Minot
combination.
said, wherever Anthony is, that's home.
Well,
Matthew's
evidently
not her home.
Greta does not feel that way about Matthew. That's the way I am.
And there you
Wherever my
go.
husband was home. As
Maybe
long
she's
as I was home.
realizing that. And
it's hard if you don't have that with a person because we moved around a lot. We moved into areas where I knew absolutely nobody,
well, that's what I'm worried
no
about.
family
Is she
around.
capable of having that with somebody? Or is she too afraid of loss?
Yeah.
All right. Well, anything else on any of these couples?
No, I mean, I think that Matthew's dad
Is
was,
sexy.
yeah, he was good looking.
Good-looking
And he
guy.
was so good with her, but he also definitely walked away from that conversation with the realization that this is not going to work out. I felt like he felt like Matthew's
He
better
said
off
that.
without her. Yeah.
Well, he said his instinct is that this is done. Her
Yeah.
instinct is that this isn't his person. Mark said there's no hope for Matthew.
Right. He's not going to continue to encourage Matthew at this point, I don't think.
Well, he tells Greta, I wish it had worked out differently,
Mm-hmm.
which I'm like, yeah, I wish her son would shut the door, lock the key, and stop answering her calls.
Mm-hmm.
And I promise when that happens, I'm not saying do that. So this guy she turns around, Greta, and comes running back to him.
Right.
That door needs to remain shut until she is ready for what Matthew has to give. Because I don't think she's ready for it. I don't think he's ready for this jelly.
No. I don't think he deserves it, honestly.
I don't either.
He's way too sweet. He's way too nice.
All right, channel surfers. Well, that is it for a 90 Day The Other Way. Thank you for channel surfing with us and watching along. We will be back next week with Sister Wives on Monday and 90 Day The Other Way on Tuesday. Because, of course, we want to spend our holidays with you, our favorite channel surfers. We hope everyone is having a great Hanukkah who celebrates. We're 2 days away from Christmas. We hope everyone who celebrates that is not losing their mind or trying to make the magic of the season happen. I mean, I feel like it falls on me every year.
It usually does. And Dad can sit back and be just as surprised as the kids when they open up the presents.
I feel like Matthew would have doubled down and done it. Y'all go get Matthew. If you're single, hit him up. I'm just kidding. I have no idea. Him and Greta might end up together. All right. Well, thanks again for listening. Make sure you like and subscribe. And we will see you next week after Christmas and Hanukkah. And just happy holidays, everybody. Go enjoy time with your family or something.
That's what I'm going to do.
If anybody wants to come and post in the Facebook group, might be a good distraction for some of our families.
Yeah.
All right. Bye.
Let's ride.